What exactly did Elon Musk say, and why is he saying it right now?
Yeah, so in a tweet response, he basically said that he was following the advice of a Ukrainian diplomat, a Ukrainian envoy, who had used profane language, which I won't repeat on this program, but basically said Elon Musk should take a hike, for want of a better expression. And Musk said in his tweet, we're just following his recommendation. That led to a wide range of media coverage and suggestions that actually Elon Musk might pull support, either funding support or literally operational support for Starlink in the country. And we know, as you said, Em, that the Pentagon say, as of Friday, they're engaged with SpaceX over the broad issue of Starlink, and the Pentagon saying that they'd have other issues. But for SpaceX, this is very much an issue of cost in terms of how Starlink's operating in that country.
DJ, how crucial is Starlink to Ukraine's defenses?
Emily, I think it's central to their defenses. If you think about, first of all, their ability to wage war, you think about how much they have integrated Western military gear into their operations. Well, the communications is essential as well. And one of the things the Ukrainians have done much better than the Russians is actually coordinate their defense and offense across a very, very long a line of contact. And so this is essential for coordination. It's essential for targeting and using the Western technology very well. If you think about a lot of this area, it's very rural, it's spread out. They're very great distances, so traditional radios might not work. As we know, the Russians have knocked out so much infrastructure. So this is crucial. And it's actually a very important leveraging factor of leveraging all this other assistance that the West is giving.
Can you give us an idea, DJ, how much these satellites cost to manage and whether that resonates with what Elon Musk has said here?
Right. There's a lot of just kind of debate around the numbers. And as we saw with the Twitter deal, kind of playing loose with numbers around what is real and what is not real in the Twitterverse. So I think we do have to take these numbers with a grain of salt. Generally speaking, if you look at what has been deployed in the field already that we know is about 12,000 units, has cost probably around 80 million to 100 million. So that number that he has put out is not too bad. I mean, when you get to these issues around, he's raised the issue of just maintaining the satellite network and cybersecurity. Well, that's a cost of doing business as a big global firm. So I'm a little bit less, I'm a little bit more skeptical of that. I think another thing we need to pay attention to, if you're looking at the cost side, is obviously the Ukrainians have asked for much more in terms of these units on the ground, the transmitter units. I mean, do they need them all? Will they get them all? So that goes into, say, the $400 million number that SpaceX has put out. So that's an ask. It's not necessarily going to be delivered. And then finally, I want to add that we've talked about a commitment about over a year. And frankly, from my perspective, Longview Global Advisors' take is that this war is not going to last another year. Russia has only months to fight. So it's not clear really how, at this point, will they need all this satellite comms for an entire year. So it needs to be played out. But officials that I've talked to in the US government say it's not a reasonable ask and it's not an unreasonable lift, not only for the US, but also for all of our allies that are supporting. So combined, I think there's a lot of countries that would be willing to contribute.
Meantime, there's a report that Elon Musk spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin before he made those public tweets, public comments, that public Twitter poll suggesting how Ukraine could seek peace with Russia, of course, widely criticized. Elon Musk is denying that right. He spoke to Putin. What do we know about this?
Yeah, I mean, categorically, Elon Musk has denied that he spoke directly to Putin about Ukraine. So on Monday of this week, Ian Bremmer, who is the head of risk consultancy group Eurasia, said that he spoke to Musk about 2 weeks ago. He hadn't been planning on revealing what was in that conversation, but decided to in his regular newsletter after he saw Musk's own comments on Twitter about Ukraine. And he said that Musk had told Bremer that he had spoken to Putin about the issue of Ukraine, which was controversial. So Musk denied it, but Musk went further to say that he hadn't spoken to Putin for about 18 months, which, essentially predates the war, the current conflict in Ukraine.
DJ, why do you imagine Musk would present this Starlink issue to the public, given the controversy about whether or not he spoke to Putin and when, and given the controversy over his Twitter poll in general?
Emily, that's a great question. And frankly, I find it dumbfounding. Musk got into a lot of trouble politically, obviously, as well as reputationally, by making this statement about Russia. He got a lot of favorable press in Russia. Not a good thing. I also think the timing is very bad because it's on the heels of days of massive Russian attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. So it looks like he's trying to play up a situation where Ukraine's in a bind. And that's not good either. There is a deal to be had here. I think the allies are more than willing, given all that we've spent. $400 million is actually not that much. So there is a deal to be had here, but he's not doing, he should not be presenting himself as a global statesman. That is not his strength, and he is clearly screwing up on this repeatedly.